Good evening, everybody. This is Ed Avis. I'm the Executive Director of the National Costumers Association, and I want to welcome you to our webinar tonight, where we are going to learn about how two very successful costume shops do some special things to bring their customers in the door. Before we begin, let me give you just a couple quick housekeeping things. This event is being recorded, so you can watch it later or have other people at your shop watch it later. And we encourage questions like always. So if you have questions, use the Q&A tab at the bottom of your Zoom screen to put those questions to us, and we'll answer them, either right when they come in or when there's a good pause. So with that, let me just briefly introduce our two panelists, and then I will ask them some specific questions. But we have Janine Caufield from Caufield's Novelty in Louisville, Kentucky, and Annemarie Aldrich from Rose Costumes in Denton, Texas. And these shops are both well known to many of you, and we're excited to learn about them. Janine, let's start with you.
Okay.
Tell us first, just real briefly, the history of Caufield's.
Caulfield started as a photography business in 1920. And during the Depression, they brought in some tricks and jokes for people who are waiting in the waiting room. And that eventually outgrew the picture taking. So they put away the cameras and then started bringing in the tricks and jokes. And then we've increased the Hobby Lobby makeup and all that stuff, the hobby stuff.
Got it. And
And
when did you get into costumes?
costumes came in well, I have a poster that it was 1950, I think it was 53 is that we have some posters that we put through the store. As a matter of fact, I have them printed and we sell them in the store.
Oh, cool. Great.
So, but a lot of our old advertisement I do that with. I bring out some new vintage advertisements every year.
Nice. Thank you.
Uh,
And Anne Marie, I know that you've been the owner there at Rose Costumes only since 2018, but can you tell us a little bit about the history of the company?
Yes, I'd love to. I think many of you know of Judy Smith, who started Rose Costumes, founded Rose Costumes in 1976 when she had a small shop called Secondhand Rose, and she was mending patches, on the jeans in the 70s and selling the vintage furniture and started selling vintage clothing, and people started wanting to rent the vintage clothing. So she went down to a costume store in Dallas and asked, how do I do this? And, kind of the rest is history, I guess. She dropped secondhand from it and called it Rose Costumes. And, we've been going strong ever since. I ran her business for her for about 10 years before I took it over in 2018 when she retired. And I'm just still amazed by her creativity and her genius, and that's really what we aspire to carry on. She started the whole thing, and we've just been, building it and growing it from all of her incredible kooky ideas ever since.
Great, great, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, with that, let's go into some questions. Janine, Caulfield's is known for some of their events that bring people in. When did you start doing these kinds of events, and what have been some of the most successful?
Well, the one that I'm doing right now that's been really successful is the Caulfield's Creek Fest. I started that 2 years ago, and it's where we rent our whole second floor. I've emptied it out. It used to be stock rooms. And we have over 70 vendors, which are local vendors, haunts, and artists. And the first year I did it, we had over 5,000 people walk through the door. Not all at once, but through the whole day. This year we did for a 2-day event, and we had almost 8,000 people walk through the door in a
Wow.
2-day event. And it's free admission. They go up a set of stairs and they have to come into our retail store. But it's shopping all day. We have picture taking opportunities. We have the haunts who are entertaining our guests and stuff. We have stuff for the children. We try to make it a family oriented, and we try to give people, it's like a kickoff to Halloween. Plus they get to see the different things that we have and that, we're able to do.
And
So that's
do
one of
you
the things.
do you rent the space upstairs? I mean, are you making money from those exhibitors?
Yes,
Hmm.
from the vendors, yes. They each have a booth. They pay me for a booth, yes.
Got it.
And it's a 2-day event, and I don't, you pay for your booth and you can stay there, or you can leave, whatever. But it's and it's family oriented, so it's been great. It's local people that know Caulfield, um, and we're 106 years old, so we draw the crowd in. But we were blown away the first year because I didn't think I'd hardly have anybody there because it was the first year we did it. But we were blessed, we really were, and that's what we want. People know us, and we have a large crowd for haunts or horror fans. They love horror in our anything to do with horror makeup. We have a makeup artist who will do horror, show how to do horror makeup. He's I'm afraid I'm going to lose him. He's on movies a lot right now. But we do bring them in for different things. I'll put a teaser out like this Saturday where it's wig day. So, let's try wigs on. And, you just have to think of different ideals to get people in, is what we try to do.
Now, Janine, how did you find the exhibitors, the vendors for?
They found me.
Wow.
I just posted that we're having Creek Fest, and I'm telling you, I knew a couple of them from doing shows ourselves because we've put booths up at different shows. And I reached out to him, say, "Hey, I'm having this," and then I'm telling you, within 2 weeks, I've sold out, and I have a waiting list right now for people to get in.
Wow. And these are
Yeah.
people from Louisville, or are they traveling from?
Louisville, Evansville, Indiana, Louisville, but mostly in the Louisville area. They
Mhm.
are just small businesses in the Louisville area. I have a lady who brings in her bakery, baking me crazy, and she'll just set up a booth there. But they're just small individual businesses, local
Yeah,
businesses.
that's cool.
Yeah.
And do you give them like a table or something, or do they have to provide all of that?
I provide them with 2 chairs and electricity in their booth, but they set up their own booths.
Hmm.
I
Okay.
don't do any tables or nothing. That's not on me.
Got it.
And some of them don't even use tables, to be honest.
Yeah. Janine, before the event began, I asked you this question, but I'd like to ask you again. What's the deal with like sales tax? How do you handle that with these vendors?
They handle it themselves. They sign a contract. They give me the resale number. They sign a contract. They're supposed to report it, but they also have to have insurance to come in. They have to be insured to be able to set up a booth, and that's most like any place you set up for a show. You have to show proof of insurance.
Hmm.
So, and most of them do. Most of them have it.
Now, do they tell you afterwards that it was worth it, was successful for them?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I have nothing but good reviews. As a matter of fact, I'm hosting a new event, which I just put out. It's going to be called Holiday Nightmare on Main Street. And it's basically the same thing, but we're going to have Krampus and Grinch and all the festivities going on. But I've got people coming out. I'm coming. I'm coming. So it's been great for us. It really has been.
Now, do you find that the people who attend the event and then enter your retail store, do they buy stuff then, or they just pass through?
Yes, yes, they do. We have T-shirts, hoodies. We've had posters printed up for the event that we sell,
Mhm.
and they just whatever's in the store. It's a great way to get them in to know, just to get them in to even be in your store to look around and say, "Oh, this, I can get makeup here. I can pick up my wigs here." I mean, it's just a great idea just to bring people in, just to show them what you have.
Yeah, great. Janine, thank you. I know you have other events, but I want to switch to Anne Marie here.
Okay.
And Anne Marie, let me ask you that same question. Tell me about the events there. What's
Well,
going on?
that was just amazing too, Janine. That was inspiring. So just what an incredible. I was taking my own notes on what you do. It's a really spectacular idea. Um, we just recently moved locations last year. From we were up in an old outlet mall for 20 years off the highway, and we just recently moved last year to the Denton Square, which is the main area, to a really cool 100-plus-year-old building that we've had a lot of fun decorating, and we just have a lot more foot traffic. So we're really blessed with that. But we're also trying to get a handle on wow, we have a lot more people walking through the door. You know, what, how do we keep them entertained and also make money off of them? Really, theater rental has been our bread and butter. We kind of switched over from Halloween for a while because that's the only way that we really could compete, being in the location that we were. So we're now starting to push back towards, um, the people walking in and the Halloween crowd. And Denton, Texas, has just recently named itself the Halloween capital of Texas. So
Oh,
we're
wow.
really lucky with
Oh, wow.
that. And it's 31 days of Halloween. So there are events every single day. We're really trying to reach out to the community and get involved with other businesses, where, if your customers come over here and ours go over there, then they get a particular, 10% off, 20% off your costume rental to walk around the square, with their stuff, or sell stuff, because we have a lot of events like you're talking about, um, for the city. We have a lot of witch activity and like witch events and that sort of thing. So we're really just trying to get involved as much as we can. I'm trying to get in my young people, my young employees involved that uh, know TikTok a lot better
Okay.
than I do. So that's been a lot of fun. We try to have like one fun thing that we do every day, just to keep the joy, because it's hard out there for all of us right
Okay.
now, to continue in this economy. So I think if you kind of seek the joy, it will find you too, and the money will follow. So that's really what we're trying to do.
That's great.
Mhm.
Anne Marie, I love the fact that the city has designated itself Halloween City. That's
Yeah.
like, wow, what a great marketing move.
Oh, yeah. Couldn't be
And
better.
yeah, what types of events are they doing to facilitate this?
Oh, all sorts of things. They're paying people to walk around the square in costumes that they get from us. They've been using the hotel occupancy tax to fund all of these events. Last year, it brought in 126,000 people to our square, which for us is a lot.
Wow,
Um,
yeah.
and so, when you have those sorts of numbers, then more money goes towards it. And it's everything from haunted houses to pumpkin patches to big, pumpkin drops, and um, tons of Halloween parties and costume contests. But it's dentonhalloween.com is the website. And there's events every single day, many different events every single day. So we're all, we've been having the Boo team meeting of all of the different business owners in the city, to like, what can we do? We have a big Cirque de Horror, which is kind of like an old school kind of family friendly circus event. So we do costumes for that. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. We're very excited as it grows.
And did the city just dream this up, or did a group of businesses say, "Hey, we want this to happen"? I mean, how did it
It,
come
it
about?
Yeah, it really was the brainchild of Gary Packin is his name. He runs the city Parks and Rec department, and with us moving, they just started it last year as we moved in.
Mm.
So I think that kind of was a help as well. Like, oh, we're gonna have, because everyone knows us in town. A lot of people hadn't ever gone to see us, but they've heard about us. And the way that our store is decorated too, it's a kind of an amusement park in itself. So um, I think it just made sense at that point, and they're really supportive, our city, with trying to help, with small businesses to stick around, because it's hard for us,
Yeah,
as everyone I'm sure on here knows.
I wonder if other communities that have NCA members could do this. I mean, the fact that Denton did it and declared themselves the Halloween City of Texas is one thing, but it seems like a well-run parks department, if it was encouraged by the businesses, could start similar things and really drum up the business specifically for costume shops.
Yes,
Are
yeah.
there other businesses that are equally involved in Halloween type stuff that benefit?
Well, we have like, independent bookstores that, I mean, there's a whole how you can, they can definitely get involved in Halloween. We have a lot of kind of oddity shops, definitely that. All of the bars get involved.
Mhm.
I think, anyone who's trying to help their business grow, and I mean, everyone loves Halloween, right? And it can be a much longer season even. We were with the whole summerween. Um, phenomenon too. I mean, it can just start earlier and earlier. And I think it just starts with somebody voicing the idea and maybe having some connections in the city. And, it's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah,
If we make money, they make money, and around it
absolutely.
goes. So,
Yeah. Now tell me about the logistics of the discounts that you coordinate with other vendors. Do you approach them directly, or is there some clearinghouse for that or something? How does that work?
yeah, no, it's a direct, communication. It's really important, I think, to be out in your city, introduce yourself. You need to know your fellow business owners,
Mhm.
have those lunches, uh, have that coffee, just bop in and say, hey, how are you doing? I just wanted to see what your merchandise was, just so everybody feels more of a family um, than competitors. If we approach it from that standpoint, I think everybody can win. Excuse me.
Yeah,
Texas allergies.
great. Well, thank you. Thank you, Anne Marie. Janine, let me go back to you. I know that this Freak Fest is a fairly new event, but Caulfield's has done events in the past, right? Tell us about some
Right.
other things you've done.
One of the things that I'll be doing is, as she says, you reach out to other businesses. There's a business called the Witch's Brew Coffee. The first Saturday in October, she will be at our store, and we're going to have we haven't decided, but it's going to be the best witch hat contest where we'll get our prizes. She's serving her coffee, and they'll get like a 10% off or something when they go to her store or something. So that does work to cross reference with other businesses. As a matter of fact, we're at Georgetown Drive-In every weekend. We have a booth set over there. Every weekend we're there when they're showing the horror movies. We have a booth where we're selling out of. So you just have to make yourself into the community. You have to be out there. I think you also need to make your shop a little bit of an experience when people walk through the door. We have a dragon that lives under the steps, and Louisville tourism has brought a ton of people. I had someone in from Chicago today who came in because someone else did a video in our store. We've had movies in our stores. As a matter of fact, I've got a guy coming in who wants to shoot a movie. As a matter of fact, there's a movie that's going to be released where Caulfield's is an appliance store. They redid our whole front window as an appliance in the 1970s. So we'll be in that, we'll be in part of that movie also. But it's just getting your name out there, working with the city of Louisville. You can also, if you want to host an event, and I don't know if people know this, but you can go to the events places like Louisville Tourism. I go and say, "Hey, I'm having this event." They'll put it on they'll put it on the calendar, so that when people come in, they'll see that. You can go to your there's other places like what to do in your area. There's all kinds of little places. You call your TV people. We called our TV. We called the news people that we know. We called the Courier Journal to write an article. There's a Fraser Museum right down the street. I wrote an article for them. They have like a 40,000 subscription. There's all kinds of different things you can do. Like I'm cross promoting with Halloween Life, which he does a danger run, which they give you clues and you try to find the haunted houses. I am one of the stops for them to come and look for the next clue. So there's different ways that you can put your name out there through the year. And I just try to be creative about it. I'm all open for it, to hear what people have to say and stuff. Yeah.
And
It,
Janine, do
it's,
you like evaluate these opportunities? Do you ever say like, no, that one doesn't seem right for me?
well, there was one that we just, it just wasn't for us, to be honest. The crowd wasn't what was for us. We
Mhm.
set up a booth, and Basically, I really lost money on that one. I paid my workers and me just to sit around and look at each other. But you have to try and fail. But once you get out there and you have to know your clientele. My clientele loves horror. I bring in posters, things that not that costumes are going to sell all year round. I do have theatrical makeup. I do have a makeup artist, which he works with the schools and stuff. But you do have the people that Louisville Tourism has downtown where we're at. So I bring in posters and I bring in magnets with our name on it, that they can pick up for $3. And
Uh-huh.
just to put your name out there, like Caufields.com. So when they get that magnet home, they say, oh, this was the neatest store. They had a wall full of masks, or they had the dungeon or whatever. It just has to be an experience. And then they'll remember you, to be honest, is what I
Yeah.
think it is.
Anne Marie, let me turn it back to you. I know that Rose Costumes is known also for having experiential things. Tell me about that. What does your store have?
So when you walk in, each section is kind of almost like a living kind of a set piece. We have an old school kind of a circus, and that's where we have a lot of our clowns and ringmasters, but also a lot of our distress stuff, and it's kind of more vintage scary circus. But like we have a tiger in there, a full size tiger with a cage, and we have trapeze that are up overhead, and we have a castle that a couple of our employees built the Iron Throne from the Game of Thrones. That's in there. That's a huge draw for people to come in and just take photos in. All of our dressing rooms, each one is a different theme. And now moving over from the last place, we're kind of, updating those themes and we're trying to reuse a lot of pieces from the old store in new ways. So we have like an Alice in Wonderland dressing room where when you walk in, you look up, there's a whole table that looks like it's kind of falling on you, and like you're falling through the floor. And we have a Wizard of Oz dressing room that we just put a giant Oz head up in. So people just love that. They love to be able to come in and take photos. We encourage people to just come in and try costumes on just for fun. We say, come on in and play dress up. And I think that that's a good part of the experience as well. That they don't go in and people aren't like, oh no, you have to buy something, you have to rent something to try something on. It's more have fun. And when they do and they feel welcome like that, then they do end up spending money and taking pictures and posting them everywhere and tagging you. And we call it the Rose Costumes experience. We have for a long time, and we're constantly trying to update that. And you were talking, Janine, about your dragon. We have like the big Shrek dragon puppet, and we have we have that and the Audrey too, and the Jabberwocky, and they're just we've run out of space, so we are hanging stuff from the ceiling now. It's just you decorate wherever you possibly can, just make it to where every time somebody comes in, they're like, I didn't see that before.
Right.
The last store, I had been there for 10 years, I swear, and still I didn't realize that was there the whole time from what Judy put in there, and that's fun.
The
That's
whole
fun.
thing
I want
sounds
to
fun.
keep coming back and seeing how we update it. So just constantly adding to it and making it an experience.
Right.
Now, is somebody in your store responsible for design and decoration, or is it just an all staff kind of thing?
Everyone, and every idea is welcomed. There's no idea that's too crazy. It's just tell us the crazy idea, and then it's like, how do we execute that? Execute it, make it safe, make it, make the fire marshal not come in here, and yell at us. It's just pushing the edge of the envelope, and I did really learn that from Judy. She would say it's better to ask forgiveness than to ask permission. So, we do the best that we can, and kind of sky's the limit. But everyone has such crazy backgrounds too, that you'd never think that the librarian that works for me now would come up with these, had these ideas in her head. But if you allow people to voice them and get creative with it, it's amazing what you can come up with. and they're just great. We just let them run with it, and we have a whole, a woman. We did a whole book spine, kind of a corset, and then the whole skirt that's coming down is all pages of books, and they kind of fly off into the air, and it's just magical, and that's why people keep coming back.
It
And
is.
having creative staff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I think
Janine,
I think everyone has some creativity in them.
Mhm.
It's just whether they've ever explored that or been allowed to. So I think everyone has a good idea.
Janine,
Right.
I'd like to put the same question to you, but first, Anne Marie, there's a question that came in from an attendee.
Mhm.
And it is, when you allow them to try things on, what may be off limits? Items in packages, wigs, etc. Is there anything off limits?
So no, I don't have anything that's off limits. I don't have at this point though packaged costumes. All of the costumes that I have are ones that we've created and either rent, or we have a resale section that's in the front, which are costumes we have created, but we've kind of pushed out of rental stock into for sale. So I don't have at this point retail costumes. One of the main reasons for that was COVID, and also before that, kind of pulling out of the Halloween game a bit. So I'm sure we will get back into that, and I might have a better answer for that once I do have retail costumes. But no, right now, if it's out, because everything's out also on the floor for you to see and touch and try on. So we encourage that. So I don't have a limit.
Got it. Thank you.
Mhm.
Attendees, let me remind you, questions are welcome, so fire away. Janine, tell us
Yeah.
about the staff. I mean, who comes up with some of these fantastic decoration ideas and event ideas?
It's pretty much all of us. Like she said, I've got some young people. I've got our makeup artist who's very talented in everything. I do have a lady who's worked for us for 16 years. It's just that we talk about what are we going to do next? What can we do next? And my husband can pretty much build, or, he builds a lot of the animatronics. He builds a lot of my, like we have a Michael Myers house, and we have Michael Myers on it where you can take a picture of Michael Myers and there's a Caulfield sign behind it. But I mean, we take little clips of movies, horror movies, and you can sit, or we do have like Fountain Fairy where it's got the Sue and Sam from years ago. It was animated and stuff, but it's just the work of, like she said, it's just our employees. Honestly, they'll come up and say, "Oh, did you see this in the movie? We could do this," and we're like, "Okay, let's do it." So
Wow.
it works out really well, to be honest.
And do you change stuff out, or does it just stay there forever?
No, we change stuff out. I
Okay.
mean, like the dragon will probably always stay there. There's no way I'm going to move a set of stairs and stuff.
Mhm.
Um, the Michael Myers house will probably be changed out to maybe something new, but we do switch stuff around because you want it to be new and fresh when they come in. You
Mhm.
want something different when they come in, like, oh, I didn't see this the last time. We're like, it's because it wasn't here the last time, but but we don't say that. But we want them to see something new every time they come in,
Yeah.
is what we're wanting. So yeah, it works pretty much like she said. It has to be an experience to get them to talk about you and to want to tell your friends. We have the advantage that we're 105 years old and we're an institution in the city of Louisville, but you have to create yourself. I mean, some people said, I've lived here my whole life and I've never heard of you. I mean, I had someone come in and she's, I've never heard of you.
Wow.
Well, where have you been? But those are things that you want, and you've got new people coming in. So you want the new, you have to invent yourself to get new traffic coming into your business.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't just rest on your laurels.
No, you can't. You have to reinvent yourself. You have to be creative. Used to be that they didn't have the internet where they can check everything, and you know what I'm saying? So when they do come in, it's usually, I got to have this. I'm taking it. You know what I'm saying? You got to have, we're known for Caulfields for the unusual. We try to have something different. We don't want to look like, or used to look like Party City or something like that. We don't want to look like Spirit Halloween or Party City.
Mhm. Yeah. I think that's a key point. You can't
Yeah.
compete on price with those guys. So
No,
why even try to look like
no, don't try. Mm-mm.
that? Janine, you mentioned the relationship you have with the drive-in theater.
Uh-huh.
How did that start, and what are the logistics there?
Bill has been buying from us for his family-owned drive-in, Georgetown. His mother started it, and he's been coming in buying props and stuff from us. So when he show a horror movie, he would do that. He came and says, "Hey, do you want to set a booth up and sell stuff out of it?" And we said, "Sure, we'll do that." So my husband built a trailer for us, believe it or not. And one of the things I'm going to be doing is we need to have it painted. So that's going to be a contest for next year. We need a name for our trailer, and we're going to have it painted. But we're out there every weekend. It sits on his property for a whole month. I just go every Friday and Saturday night, and we sell up, and that's it. But that's how that came about. Now this year, in October, he's coming to our place. We're going to have Caufield's after dark, and we're going to set the second floor up and set it up as an old-fashioned drive-in, where instead of a car, you're going to have chairs, but we're going to have the old speakers and a concession stand. And that's going to be after we close in October. It's going to be the third weekend in October.
Nice. How fun.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that. I'll let you know.
Now,
After working on those hours in October.
what are you selling out of that trailer on his property?
We're selling hoodies, our T-shirts. We're selling koozies, horror koozies. They're doing The Conjuring, so we're doing some nun stuff, some toys for kids. I mean, it's just a variety of stuff, and it does really well for us. Like I sold a ton of hoodies this past weekend because it got real cold here.
Wow.
It was like at 50 degrees there, and I'm like, okay, let's go. How much are your hoodies? And I mean, they would buy them left and right.
Great.
So it's just, and that's free. That's got our name on it too. So it's advertisement. I think that if you own a store, you need to have either we put stickers in every order and write thank you on all of our orders. We put a Caufield sticker in there. I just think you just need to advertise your business and get your name out there. Even if you want to, I mean, you can go to Sticker Mule. I mean, they have inexpensive stuff. You can get get a magnet with your name on it and put your web address on it. It's just being creative, but an impulse, something you can stick at the register and say, "Oh, I want to pick this up because it's got Caufield's on it."
Yeah.
It's just, those are just different ways that you can promote your business.
Now, Janine, Annemarie mentioned TikTok, that has worked for her.
It has worked. Yeah. I have two girls right now. One of them's in college and the other one is, I have two girls that are awesome in TikTok. One of them has a medical problem right now, but they will be starting TikTok again in October. But we've had some of our TikToks go viral. I mean, I even had a lady call and wanted to know if she shared it. She wanted to pay us for it. I'm like, I don't know nothing about this, but whatever. So they handled all that for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's a great promote. Just promote it. I don't need to be paid for it. Just promote it, please. But yeah, and we have a hearse. We have a 46 hearse that we drive around and we park outside. And it's a great picture opportunity. I mean, you just need to make it an experience, I think, I know that a lot of people say, well, how do you ever sell it? You do. Believe me, it works that way. They come in. Customer service is always number one, I think. Like today, a lady wanted to dye her hair white. Well, she has dark hair. You can't spray your hair white. I try to tell her that, but we kept trying it on. She wanted to try everything we could think of to put on her hair. But I just think it has to be an experience for people when they come in. And I think customer service and an experience and just getting your name out there. Work with your community. Get involved in your community. Introduce yourself to your community. Like, hey, I'm having a grand opening today, or I'm having Halloween sale, or whatever you can think of to be creative, to get even the news people, like a little blur on the news would be great.
Mm-hmm. Annemarie, you mentioned TikTok. How else do you market?
Excuse me. We primarily do social media at this point, and word of mouth for sure. Talking about what Janine was saying too, our local down in Dallas station. One thing you could do as well is, which is nice, is offer to dress the news anchors for their Halloween show. They always have one. Everyone dresses up for Halloween. Excuse me. So definitely offer to do that. We've done that in the past. Sometimes they'll come out and do a show, at your store. But if you can develop those relationships too, I mean, everyone's going to dress up. Everyone loves to dress up. And if they hadn't thought about it, they'll do it.
That's a
Right.
great idea.
Mhm.
Yeah. Wow. I think it's a whole another webinar on just creative marketing ideas, but
Yeah.
those are good.
Yeah.
We have another question. It's actually a suggestion. Thank you, Luella. She says, would you consider filming a video of your stores for the NCA to show? I think that's a fun idea. So
Absolutely.
Yeah,
we
sure. I can do that.
deal with that offline. But yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah, I would love to do that.
Hmm.
Great. I don't see any other questions, and my list of questions is done. Let me just ask Anne Marie. Let me start with you. Anything else that you'd like to bring up on this topic, on bringing people in your store, special things that can attract people that we haven't talked about yet?
Sure. Something that helped us. I know that summertime. I know we just got past that and we're headed towards Halloween, but something that was really has been great for us for the summer months is that we have sidewalk sales, and we really promote those really big on the weekends, and it's a way to kind of push out your stagnant inventory, or if you do rentals that just aren't, they're just not paying the rent, in the space. And we did one every other weekend during the summer, and we had different names for them, and really pushed those on social media, on our website. And I'll tell you that it really helped get us through the summer, because this summer was a tough one, I think, probably for a lot of people. But it also helps to kind of keep people, stay in people's minds throughout the year too, and through the summer. And then they start thinking, they come into your store and they're like, oh, this is where I'm going to go for Halloween, so they'll come back, and it helps you to make some money too. So I mean, that's an idea. If you have a sidewalk, our sidewalk is a lot smaller now that we're on the square, from where we were before, but we made it work. And we had the front part of our store, we kind of cleared that out, that was our sidewalk sale, and the price, I mean, it's priced to sell. We had nothing over $10. We were out there dressed in costume, just nothing over $10. Prices start at $1, and you really, you can make money quick, and clear out some space and keep the energy up. And so just wanted to add that really helped us.
That's great. Thank you, Anne Marie.
Mhm.
Janine, same question. Anything else that we haven't talked about that you do at Caulfield's to
Not really. I mean, just be creative with what you do. I mean, see what's going on in your area, and see what you can tag along with it. I mean, I'm always looking at seeing what's happening, and how can I join in, to be honest? How can I get someone in? Oh, you're going to a concert. Look at your concerts. Who's coming to town? You can put, your hats, you can put necklaces, you can put costumes, whatever you think, like Elton John or whatever, who's coming to town. Those are things that I look for, ways to tag in our social medias that, hey, you're going here, we've got this. We also do, like the Palace, they do small, like ghosts came to town, and we had a ghost lookalike contest, and I gave away free ghost tickets that I worked with the Palace. So that was a big item for us, to have people come in, they buy the makeup, they might buy some accessory for ghosts, and then they come back for the contest later that night. There's different ways to invent yourself. Look at cons. I mean, the horror cons, the anime cons. I mean, I'm always looking in the news to see what's going on. Is
Janine,
one
tell us, I mean, I'm an old man. Tell me, what's Ghost?
Believe it or not, I didn't know either. It's a band.
A
It's
band, okay.
like a hard rock band. Yes, it's
Got
a
it.
band.
Okay, all right.
I didn't know neither. I had asked the young people, what is
All
Ask
Ghost?
the young people, yes.
I had asked the young people, yes, what is
All right.
Ghost?
All
What
right.
kind of music do they sell? Yeah.
Great.
Those are ways that we try to carry ourselves through this, the summer. And the reason why I did the Creek Fest, that was like a kickoff to get people in and start thinking about Halloween.
Yeah.
And the horror and stuff.
Great.
Yeah.
So it sounds like, in my listening, that creativity and having fun are just essential here. That if you put your heart into it and don't just lay stuff on for sale, you're going to do better. And
Absolutely.
Yeah.
that's I think that's great advice. So,
Mhm.
well, thank you, Janine and Marie, so much for your time this evening.
Thank you for having
Really
Thank
me.
appreciate
you.
it.
Honor.
And attendees, remind you that this has been recorded, so you can watch it again later and look for an item about this event in the newsletter on Thursday. I'll write up some key points from it. So, and hopefully we'll take Luella up on her suggestion to do some
Yes,
film.
I'll absolutely do that.
Great.
Yes, I can do that.
And Marion just put up another note. Great job, ladies, she said.
Oh, thank
Oh,
you.
thank you, Marion.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone. And enjoy the rest of your evening. And that
Thank you, Ed.
ends our webinar today.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a nice night.